one in a pretty color, green and white. These little 100s all over it.
We can stand
Sarah,
more
get
than
it off?
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was 18. Okay. 19.
Yeah. Bear, let's eat cake.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
How old are you, 369?
How old are you?
How old are you? How old are you?
What?
Thank you for the hat.
There.
And there's dough.
Yeah.
Thank you for the hat.
No. I will. Where we get the presents and the cake?
What's that? Look at your little bear, Sarah.
Yeah.
Be careful.
What you doing, Amy?
Ooh,
Mm.
looks interesting. That's the paper. It's wallpaper.
That's pretty. You wouldn't wallpaper that on your
Breakable.
wall, would you?
I got socks.
Don't
touch.
Hey,
They're pink and blue.
that's pretty.
Ooh, this is what I need
See,
too.
you know, I've seen that.
We
Somebody
have
wear
all
something
the
like
makeup.
that style, ain't it?
Yeah.
Elf, how you do there? Cause nobody will pay.
Socks. Say,
Woo!
Wow.
Hello.
that's a good deal, boy.
And socks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Those are my, had them all then on those. I've got some smaller ones too, littler beads.
That's heavy, ain't it? Must be a wrap piece. Must be a big wallpaper.
Must be a big
I
brick.
need to rewind it anyways to the part we missed.
Why, you're taping it?
Here, Grandma's.
Oh, really? Good.
Don't you want to sit down on it?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Dictionary.
Yep. It's a game that I wanted.
Ah, that's good. Pretty good. Fictionary, I should say. Fictionary.
It's just like dictionary, right?
I don't know. Wow. Flowered face.
Daddy bear. What do you have to do, draw? What do you have to draw? Daddy Ruxpin, got.
That's so cute.
Ooh, I gotta play this. See what I did? Hello, Grandma.
There we are.
Hey, Grandma.
Turn that thing off, Grandma.
That's your toy.
What kind of
But that one with the
toy
store
are
at
you?
21 footer, that wasn't too bad. I think the guy picked that up for about 18.
I think so too, and that'd be a nice show for that money.
Well, look at it, right? Oh. Grandma.
warm, babe?
A little bit.
All right, I'm gonna go over there.
How's it favorite?
I'm gonna fall, Chris. No.
Rusty.
No, no, no.
Hello, Grandma. Hey, Grandma.
I'd like to talk.
Beep, beep, beep. Grandma. You silly toy. You bad person! I good! I karate kid! Good! Okay!
No, don't get me. I'm trying to play.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Go get Amy.
Okay! Yeah! 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 What?
Ow. Here, Wendy. Now there's a plenty. Why is that thing moving? Getting frosty all over.
I guess so.
It gotta be.
Yeah, that's really.
Uh-oh.
Pretty one too.
Yeah!
Amy's gonna like
People would be right, but it'd be a gray line too. My Danvers would get so high. My blood pressure would go 250. Wow.
Ooh, Charlie.
You're singing happy birthday, eh?
No candles.
Okay, start, Amy.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
She's picking all that up in that round.
Yeah. I thought somebody
We know who that is.
Charlie, good time, Charlie.
Wow. Soccer player.
Let me see.
Your
Let me
colors.
see. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. You should have
That's
brought
not
your
like we were
other
looking for the other
presents
day,
that
isn't
you
it?
got from them. John?
Huh?
Should have brought your other presents. You got.
I'd laugh if they took in 5 verses of there. Boy, would they be sorry.
What do you got?
We'll have to call here.
Watch this, Grandma. Get this.
Yeah.
No.
Grandma,
Miss me, Grandma.
Grandma, over here.
Miss me, Grandma. Watch this, Grandma.
No.
She kissed her.
Like, you just see the hot and cold spots all through the thing.
Your purses on the trunk.
Yeah.
You want something that big.
Any crumbs on your hand?
Nope.
Grandma, look it.
Oh.
Sarah's a bunny.
Time flies.
Is this
Let's
coming
see.
back?
Does that hang that up in your locker? Yeah.
Jordan, put it in your locker.
I have something
I love these little scenes they have.
No rush. Oh, I set it up for him, showed it. Nice little sling set. She's pretty good too. She's only about 14
No.
Just
years
mine?
old.
Just one dip of no.
And she was a pretty good drummer. Quite surprised.
Where'd she go to school?
I ought to do it. That's great playing.
No.
Somewhere by Woodland Mall. No, Dean Lake, so she probably
I'll
goes
go northern.
Crescent or maybe Forest Hill.
Forest Hills Northern.
Or, East Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Dean Lake?
Teddy bears are,
No,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
like.
No, Dean Lake would be Forest Hills.
East Grand Rapids is right there. Oh, Dean Lake?
Dean Lake, yeah.
Where's that?
like serving over up in that charger, huh?
I didn't think Hudson's did that. And
What?
Hudson's has started putting those tags through their clothes.
They do.
Yeah. Used to
What,
be
they
more
did that?
expensive clothes. They put it
Grandma?
in the
And we're jogging. We got one over on the house.
What, jogging outfit? The one I got you.
One of them on there.
The one I got you.
The red one?
Mommy, Dad,
Got a gray one. Must be able to hood on it. Got a hood on it.
This is from me and me.
Over to the Y,
You made that.
$20.
Christy made that.
From
Oh,
11:15.
you did that in school?
Uh,
At home?
in the van. And the right here. Yeah, Mama.
Aim your hair behind your ears.
Wendy?
Put your hair back.
Grandma, you got a present over here. Okay, Grandma and Grandpa, here. Give it to Grandpa.
I'm gonna give it to Grandma. She's too busy. From Christmas. How about that? Pretty nice.
There's nothing in it. It's
It's empty.
Papa was looking for money.
Yeah, I thought there was $100 in it.
Okay, don't open it until I say open. You're supposed to open each one at the same time.
Your hand.
Well, I shouldn't be too big.
Well,
Are you kidding?
I bought large. I got them
No,
large.
wait.
I wasn't quick
You
to
wouldn't
measure.
want them. You wouldn't want it. They're tight.
They're supposed to be fitting to your hand.
Yeah, these are. They're form-fit.
Okay, let me
They're more
see.
of a.
No, I've never seen gloves yet. You didn't get at least extra large or extra large. You didn't fit anybody.
No.
I haven't got big hands. I don't know what a guy does with big hands.
They were rubber around the bottom,
Oh, a little
and then they
bit.
had some leather, and then the sides
Let
were
me see.
That's ours, isn't
I
it?
almost bought
Elf?
rat race,
Rat race. That would be good in
Are you
Jamie's
ready
bedroom.
for me
the rat
to rip?
pack.
A rat
Okay,
pack.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the rubber ones, but soiled with like two.
Whoa.
Got the same one. Joni. Joni.
That's why I got the snooze legs. I wanted to try them ones.
You can play one off here and record it on this one or whatever. Yeah, this is recording this one.
They're duals, yeah.
Haven't looked for any since. I still have some.
This is big.
Oh, my friend.
Look.
For camouflage.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Man,
This is from you guys. Wonder what this thing could
I don't know. Wonder what that could be.
Now you push this red button here, right? Push this red button, get it rolling.
Big.
How do you stop it?
Ew.
push it again.
But very old.
Thank you.
Now,
Be careful on there.
pretty nifty.
Who's this to? Dad. How come it says that? Some grandpa.
Initials on them.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's to put a,
Yes.
Something I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Same she does.
Those go on a sport coat.
On a sport coat?
yeah.
We cut away.
Oh, okay.
But we need it.
Didn't know your name was Ed. No. Yeah.
Ed?
I got a side, but you gotta look at it. I thought it was a D-E-D.
You can give this. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. This is too big.
I don't know. I checked to make sure. Say your name on it.
This is. This
That's the day. I said, well, can I get out by?
Chris,
We'll
yeah.
go shopping someday. She said.
Oh.
John, where's your new radio?
It's over there. On the corner.
Is that a tape to tape?
Huh?
Does that go tape to tape?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two.
You gotta wait for the opening, so.
Or would be Michigan?
Push this way.
Now smile.
Look at Connie's first.
Yeah, then I don't have to open mine.
There's one more coming.
Here, Chris.
Only has
Let's
five.
open this of yours.
So if they get more in, you'll get another one.
Good. Another one for
Kid, I'm gonna smack you so hard.
They match this.
Now this will learn me how to do the thing.
Yeah, they match. Uh-huh. Huh. That is cute.
Don't open it up here though.
No,
Last
it's
time we lost
it's
one.
good.
We did offer him, I think it was Joni's.
Yeah, we
Randy's
never
that
found
one
it.
year.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, so do I.
I'll open one of mine.
One of each, yeah?
Never
Oh,
found
you
it.
got them too.
Never did.
Ah.
Caught up with a piece
Both
of
of them.
We'll wait a couple minutes.
Bailey's like steak.
Yeah, steak either. Ball game away last
Oh,
night.
surprise, eh?
Basketball game.
Surprise.
Hey.
In a bag. Back.
Ooh. Shoes.
Oh.
A unicorn.
Another puppet. I got a skunk.
Such a nerd. She is not. She's Amy.
Yeah.
More puppet.
Oh.
Oh, a kitty
You
cat.
got a little nerd?
Yeah, the little nerds.
I'm just surprised it's in there.
What?
Little
Kitty
kitties.
cat.
One right on the end of your nose.
They can go in my
That's where
little
you should
little.
put that one.
They can?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where they
Yeah,
keep
that
it
is
safe.
Another
I got
one
more.
place squirrel.
Ooh.
A bank. Ooh. My dime.
Yeah.
And wooden shoes for my Barbie dolls.
Oh yeah.
Party time, Sarah.
Party time. Party animal alive, huh? Oh boy, who turned her crank?
Friends since the day she was born.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Just everybody.
Is that one for windbag?
Are you running, Gary? I'm going through.
Oh, Mom.
Yeah, go ahead.
That is cute.
Mommy.
There's one for Uncle Gary underneath the table.
That movie works in always surprises the dark,
Oh, I love that, Ma. Where did you find that? That's my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's how I got that.
You get the footprints too? That is my favorite thing. Every time I see it, I'm fucking I get it.
Made up.
Oh, it'd be gorgeous. That would be fun to do. It's all letters,
Yeah.
except for the bottom.
Take this one to open it.
Footprints. Read that.
There. Oh, it's a wind-up there, Chris. See? Just what I needed.
You need something to sleep with?
It's got a go on the bear. Not a very good shot, is he? He never did. He never did go out for baseball, did you?
Yeah, I saw my footprint go on.
Pokey.
Man, one was.
Oh, Gumby.
Yeah, it's
Joan, she got Pokey and
there's,
Gumby.
certain places in
Pokey and
Florida,
Gumby.
you walk on the
She got
beach,
Gumby.
and there's these microscopic animals
Pokey and Gumby,
Okay.
see?
that are
Here,
luminescent,
Chris, why don't you
and
bring
they
me
float
some
on the
over your
surface,
stuff and put it back
and they
in
wash
the
on the
box?
shore.
And then when you step,
And as soon as you step on it, they glow. It's neat. There's
I bet
5 or
you'd
6
make it.
people walking down the beach, look behind you.
why didn't you take pictures of it? That would have been neat.
I know where it is.
Oh, yeah?
It can't be. It's easy tension.
Hmm?
It's easy.
Well, does it say so down there? Is that where it is? On the side?
I think here's adjustable. The net right there is
It's adjustable for the tension on it. Just raise those shock things.
Right,
Raise
these?
and lower them, yeah.
How? Am I
Loosen
doing
it
that?
up. Loosen it up.
Okay.
And then put the middle up.
Do what?
And raise them up and down?
Yeah.
Those are all for Jerry.
Loosen it
They're
up.
right down there for us to.
Put it down ways.
Oh, I see.
You gotta find the bag. That's easier than that.
Here, Jamie, you can open yours now.
Oh, I see there. I'll push it down. You got back on tension.
Uh-oh.
Cross country.
That's a big one.
Put it down on the vision. Be right at home tonight. Yeah. Around your shoulder. That's a ghetto blaster, they call them.
That's for when you are across the river, Jamie, and want music across the other side of the river.
Yeah, you don't play that around the house.
Oh yeah, you do.
I get a boot out of these young kids that get on and they'll hear that sucker on their shoulder and they're walking, you know they're spraying their...
Oh, sound.
Gee, Joni, you're gonna be skinny in a little while.
That's right. It takes 3 people.
Got 1 minute left.
Long cords.
I said it. Starting to lose my ring off my finger. Mommy. 1 minute left, Sam. You said about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight from string. Then I lost some hair again. Wait, that's the Sara.
Oh yeah, you want to look at Donald Sr.? That's pretty good. Someone didn't flash.
What?
Maybe don't take off seconds. Ready to go?
Yeah, it's alright. That's
No.
just it's automatic.
Wait.
Oh, it's
Oh,
probably
I
not
see.
on.
You said where you
Yeah,
want to.
stop here.
We were coming down here and exercising. One and I, you know.
Okay, let me see it.
Boy, it's pretty good exercise. Lasts a half hour.
Here, can I take a picture?
What kind of language is that?
He's getting ours now.
Oh, I'm dying. Serves you right.
Taping.
You asked for it.
I don't.
What is she doing?
Wendy,
Wendy.
get back there.
See? You gotta be here too, Wendy.
Jeez.
The thing off the lens?
Yeah.
There's no
Take the cover off the lens. I had my finger over it. It was okay.
You open the presents, Jerry.
Yep. That's for the radio.
Throw these in the garbage.
What did your bear get?
Peter's here so I can make it
Hey,
out.
I got that. Just put a ribbon on top of it. Party time.
Mine's
Here's one for you. And one for me. And one for you. I wonder why
you on top of it. Just for listening. Yeah, but you really need to hear it on mine.
That's probably.
Smell it.
I don't know. They're not the same ones either, but the same.
You got no
Let's go.
How many times you would use it? Really good.
When you don't pitch your own leg.
Picked it up, but they were broadcasting to families up here. Yeah. Or make your own, set a mic.
Right.
Why and how you know knock it over. What's this for over here? For a phone. out of either one, no matter
Oh,
which
right.
one you put in.
Sure.
But they,
That's right.
they lived out in the country.
It's normal.
They were in town that weekend.
In other words, you could put
He
one
knew
on
they
each
were
side.
in town.
One runs out.
Twist and shout. Come
got
on,
Mike
come
from
on, baby, now.
Give it
Come
up.
on, baby. Twist and shout.
Sleeping Beauty. Jamie's Elder.
You got a couple of switches back here too.
Oh, they're too much sweet Sleeping Beauty. What was that again, Joni?
Huh? I didn't say anything.
Switch back there, cut that off, I don't know why. Put a stop it. Oh, you think you're gonna switch over for batteries? That could be.
What's the name say?
You got a battery in now.
Is that the one that goes with that, there's a whole gym set?
Oh, yeah. You got a couple
That
outlets back
concrete
here. You
makes
got
a
right,
lot
you got
of-
three.
There's a gym set called 2400.
Huh?
Grandpa, I'm trying to get my rock Barbie out. Come on, baby. How come you keep on singing that? Over and over and over and over.
I don't know. I think I like that song.
Do it again, Joni.
Huh?
Do it again.
Yes! Yes!
Look, come on, baby, now. Twist and shout. There, I did it. Oh, so pretty. Christy, you got a poster. Crystal.
That's her. Just turn it around.
Oh, come on, baby, now. Come on, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. You know,
Yourself at a great price. Better yet, if you got a
a little closer. Twist and shout.
Scott, Burton, LA Gear, Vision, Nike, Turntech, and lots of others. You'll save on everything from skis and skateboards to shoes.
There. Oh, wait.
Put that back. Hey,
For life.
I'm older here. Hey, I'm older than you. I'm older than you. I'm older than you. You're not 21 yet.
They got
It's right there. Sweet.
We're like, great.
Set that and crank it up and you'll finally get out of bed in the morning.
leave it wide open.
On the other side of the room, so you gotta get up and turn it off.
You can learn to sleep through anything.
The only trouble, that would wake up everybody else too.
That's alright, everybody else is up before he is.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to have to turn it off. You can have a tape playing and turn it switch on your radio. When the tape stops, the radio goes off.
You wanna have a little fun, Jim.
I love Tom.
Set that sucker wide open.
My name is John.
Oh, wow. That's neat.
They
When he
did.
does wake up in the morning, you won't be long if you're down to sleep.
The guy did that out the campground
Oh,
about midnight. That
Maybe
thing
he likes
went
to
off,
sleep
and
in,
he says, "Them people, they know it's gotta be quiet." He went outside. I'll catch him this time, and he sneaks outside. Now he stops. Goes back in the
Yeah,
house.
Mommy, you won't let me get back in the box.
What'd you say?
Christy wants her to do nothing.
There's nothing what with you? Huh? Let me see ya.
Joni! Joni!
Mommy won't let me get back in the box. Oh, darn.
Hey! Where did Scary Scratch make the sound?
Him don't.
Just a second. I want to get the mouse on.
Grandma!
Which one? one's Joni.
What's in your hair? Oh, that's neat. Christy got that in her Barbie doll. Oh, here.
Hey, they squeak! Hey, this one doesn't squeak.
I know, but don't open that yet, girl. Those are just little pieces.
Oh, he's got carrot festive diapers. Come on, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout.
Okay,
You do? Stop.
My turn.
Okay, wait. Here, wait, no, let me put it over. Put your arms straight down. Gotta be good, girl.
Hello, I am a clown.
Wanna see me dance? Wanna see me dance?
Yeah.
This is how I dance. Lola.
I am a clown. Oh, what are you? Oh, did you find me? Did you find me? Over here. Hi. That's good. Do you want to do a twirl up in the air? You just go like this. And I done.
Wendy.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay, now guys.
See?
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday, dear Wendy. Birthday to you.
How old are you? I live in the zoo. You smell like a monkey, and you look like a Jew.
Do it again.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Donnie. Happy birthday to you. All the world is in despair. People dying every breath.
You should have 2 gold chains.
I know that was
Wow.
heavy.
You weigh more than me then, kid.
She got arms on like a gorilla.
No, Ma. I know how much I weigh. Let's go see.
Oh, is that what you weigh?
Did we?
No.
Who's heavier, you or Grandma?
Sorry, folks. Last night we had it at a good comfort distance, and it was going just fine. So, thank you. I do appreciate that. Welcome to everybody. It really is a very special treat and a very special honor to have each and every one of you here. I think you all know who our honored guests are today, and they probably don't need any further ado, but we are, in case you have forgotten or got drug in, we are celebrating the anniversary of their 50th year of their marriage. And that is a blessing in and of itself, and not too many people, or just not everyone anymore, gets to have such a special occasion. My brothers and myself are your host and hostesses for today. Is there anybody that doesn't know my brothers? Could I just ask my brothers to stand, please? 50 years. In Bible times, every 50 years was a year of jubilee. And it was a time for much celebration, and many things happened then. And in that celebration, there's always a lot of memories. You look back, and today we have a lot of memories of just seeing all the different people, and it brings back this memory and that memory. And that's all part of it. Well, we would like to share some of those memories with you today. There's a few of the folks here that haven't seen each other for some time and don't get to see each other too often. And when they come, they always carry with them something that they remember from way back when. So, I'd like to introduce someone to you who is my father's only sole living relative from their mutual generation. And he was one of his first friends when he was growing up in Iowa. He was his cousin, and they played together. And John Weekers tells that one of my dad's first words was toodaloo, and that meant sugar. But anyway, but I'd like to introduce to you John Weekers, and we will all listen to what John Weekers has to say.
Well, I'm going to read most of this. I didn't compile most of this. You got to give me credit to my wife and daughter for most of it. But anyhow, John's was my first cousin, and we lived at Hayward, Sioux County, Iowa. And it was through John's mother's side of the family that were cousins. She was my Aunt Debbie, and my dad was her brother, Ralph Wickers. My Aunt Debbie passed away at the age of 50, and her brother Ralph, my dad, at the age of 95. And the school-age kids, John and I were the country cousins, just lived across the road from each other. So I'd like to look back over the years, as John and I remember when gay was a happy word, and AIDS, people assisting to the nurses. The stock market was something we've heard of, but didn't know what it was. People first got married, and then they lived together. Bunnies were small rabbits, and rabbits were not Volkswagens. Coke was a refreshing drink, and pot was something you cooked in. Grass was something cows ate, or there was for mowing periodically. There were no riding lawnmowers or snow blowers, and tractor loaders. We moved the snow with a green scoop. Even shoveled the roads open so once we go to town to get groceries and get rid of the separated cream. We were before radar, television, automatic washers, clothes dryers, electric irons, freezers, toasters, mixers, electric blankets, dishwashers, microwaves, or refrigerators. We were before penicillin, vitamins, antibiotics, polio shots, or CPR. There was no Medicare. There were no ballpoint pens or nylon fluorescent lights, pantyhose, toilet tissue, or Kleenex, disposable diapers, drip dry clothes. We were before frozen foods, pizza, instant coffee, or decaffeinated coffee. In fact, we even ground our own coffee. Milk was sold in bottles and no plastic available. Pop was not sold in aluminum cans. McDonald's was unheard of. We thought fast food, that's what you done when you ate during Lent. overnight because it might freeze. Now they stick it in the freezer all the time. Gas was selling for 20 cents a gallon. Walking was done by people who didn't own a car or could not afford to buy gas, not by any means for exercise. You could tell by the hairstyles which people were girls. This was before men wore long hair, necklaces, and earrings. When you talked about the twins, you meant people, not a ball game. You never had a paid babysitter. We were before the 40-hour week and the minimum wage. Every farmer had to milk cows, raise baby chickens, form an oats with the crops raised and harvested. There were no feed rations. We'd soak the oats and grind it and call it slop. That's what we'd get to the hogs. We'd milk by hand, turn the separator by hand to separate the cream, which later was sold. And the skim milk went to the hogs. We picked corn by hand with horses on the wagon. In the 1930s, the hired help was paid as low as 2 cents a bushel for picking it by hand. And in the 40s, it went up to 10 cents a bushel, which was about $10 an acre. This is what they were paid for the labor. But after that, the machine corn pickers came. Now they pick it 8 loads at a time. I remember the incubators we put the eggs in. Chicks were hatched in them and then were raised. We always had our own eggs. When it was time for oats harvest, there were threshing crews and later sour filling crews of 15 or more. These men were fed dinner and lunches. This was perhaps the only time that bread and luncheon meat were brought from the store. The butchering was a winter project, usually a beef and a hog, and the meat was then canned. It was also impossible to have $100,000 of debt. There were no credit cards around. Electricity was not available on the farms until around 1939. We were, before Hawaii and Alaska were states. Germany and Japan were not competitors in the world market. Social Security was never even mentioned. If we had been asked to explain the ERA, the UFOs, or CIA, we'd have said alphabet soup. Income tax was unheard of, or until the 1940s on the farm. Our folks both lost their farms they bought when the Depression of the 30s came. Corn was as high as 2 1/4 bushel. We tried for a little more and finally sold the corn for 25 cents a bushel. The farm program was unheard of then. We also remember when a car could be purchased for $400 or less, then later for $4,000 and now for $24,000. An F-20 tractor with the plow could be bought for $775. Before you want a Farm OM for $975. Now tractors are up to $50,000 or more. We are now today's senior citizens, quite a hardy bunch, I'd say, when you think of how our world has changed and the adjustments we have had to make.
I know, that's a joke in and of itself. but first, I want to make sure that you get some of the distinctions here. As many of you know, my name is Eileen, and that's spelled with an I. Now that's kind of unusual in that also. Well, today I have a special treat that I have 2 cousins whose names are Ira and Ivan, and we were all named after the same person. And her name was Ida. She was our mutual grandma. So my dear cousins Ivan and
me, Marion. Hey, I found it, Uncle Marion. I thought you lost your memory. I found it.
Well, I tell you, folks, if I told everything that I know what happened in the past about John and Jeanette, we'd be here till 12 o'clock midnight. But anyway, we're going to go back about 55 years. I was a little boy, maybe about 6, 7, 8, I don't know. My sister over there, she was about 16, 17. And, you know, these little fellas, they like to tease their big sisters once in a while. Okay. Well, my sister Jeanette, she was very scared to go out in the evening after it got dark. So, in Dutch we'd say, so what, don't spin out. Anyway, in them days, out on the farm in the 30s, this was south of Platte, South Dakota, we had what we call outdoor plumbing. Now, I think you all know what that means. And if you don't, you ask Linda Lauren over here. She'll have it. She'll have it. Don't you, Linda? Okay. But anyway, you know how it is, nature calls. So Jeanette, she goes out to the can, we call it. And of course, scared to death. Because she had to go out in the dark, see? No yard light, no nothing. And I kind of knew this, that she had to go there every evening before she went to bed. So I had a stone laying ready. And she runs out there, shuts the door quick. So nothing could get her, see, in the dark. Takes that stone, whang! Of course, that made a lot of noise in this little. And out she flew back to the house. Now, it was dark. I don't know whether she was fully dressed or not, but she was running back. Of course, I knew that if I went right back in the house, I was going to get it. So I stayed outside, looked through the window, and decided, yeah, there's Jeanette went to bed. So I went in the house, and of course, the next morning she forgot all about it, so I got by on that deal. And oh well. To make a long story short, though, I was dumb mean to her, I'll admit. I could tell other stories too, but we won't go into all of them. Like it take too long. But then another thing happened. And that really shows what a good soul my sister Jeanette really is. I owe my life to her, and I mean that literally. We had a big black dog, always stood at least this high. Just a mongrel, I don't know what kind it was. My mother would butcher these spring fries, take them like this, you know, and I'll come to the head and throw it to the dog. The dog picks it up. I being a little kid and not knowing anything, of course I don't know much yet. But anyway, I followed this dog around the house once, and the dog was under a little porch in front of the house. And I just act like I want to take that head away from him. And of course there, boom, boom, whack, whack, whack. Still got the scar there. But my sister Jeanette, she was standing. She grabs me by the leg and yanks me out of there. They rushed me to the hospital, and I had reactions in my head this far from my brain, they said. It wouldn't have been for Jeanette, I wouldn't have been here. So I need to say, after all that treatment of the way I did, she still was good to me. I think.
Dusseldorf will give a little scenario of something that used to be too. Ivan?
Well, I've heard a lot of stories over the years. flowers too. This just reminds me of what my dad has told several times. I guess Aunt Jeanette kind of enjoyed raising plants and flowers and so on when she was home. And she planted some real, kind of expensive flowers, I guess, in a flower pot once, and she watered these faithfully day in and day out. Of course, my dad couldn't resist the opportunity to do a little teasing in this situation, and in South Dakota, we have a lot of cocklebur seed out there. Slipped a couple of cockleburs in that flower pot. And of course, with all that watering, those cockleburs soaked up nice, and pretty soon a nice shoot came up. And Aunt Jeanette, she was excited, good day. She asked what was my grandmother, Miss Ida, wow, look at these plants. Of course, pretty soon Grandma recognized what she had. Hardly the heart to tell her what it was. But those are the kind of circumstances that Aunt Jeanette grew up in. So. It helps us understand why she is the way she is. A little story that was just given to me here. This is written by my mother. And she wrote this to Eileen to help her understand, or a little story about the background. Dad tells a story here, apparently. I'll just read this. Ari tells this story about John and Jeanette's courtship days back in 1935 and 1936. John went sparking to Van Dusseldorf, living south of Platte, and when it got late and high time to go home, John had radiator trouble. The weather was sub-zero, so he stayed overnight. The story goes that the radiator was set behind the old cook stove where John put it, and that radiator stayed there over a month. I don't know where John stayed all that time. Anyway, well, this suggests that he came back later. With a mild spell, John came to fix his car so he could go courting again. What fun we always had about the hardships of long ago, written by my mom. But on the other side of the coin, I too would like to testify to the goodness of Aunt Jeanette. Raymond's moved back to Illinois then I think in 56 or so, and then of course occasionally we come from South Dakota to visit Uncle John, Jeanette, and their families in Illinois. And the highlight for kids like myself then was a trip to Chicago. Aunt Jeanette would take us to Chicago. And that was something. That was the first big city experience a lot of us kids had. First, you see a lot of colored people and this and that. And of course, you lock the doors, guys, it's dangerous here. So we'd think it was dangerous. One of the things that I particularly remember is she took us on a tour to the top of the Prudential building in downtown Chicago. And at that time, it was one of the taller buildings downtown, I guess. And quite a ride up those elevators, pretty fast. And we thought that was neat. And we took the elevator up together. Jeanette was guiding us, and I was with my parents. I think just the 4 or 5 of us. Eileen was along, I'm sure. And looked around up on the top of the building, and came back to the foyer area where you load up and go back down the elevators. And Jeanette, of course, was moving right along and shuffling us along. And she walks quickly on that elevator. She hadn't been in the building very often herself, a brand new one. She looks back at us and, of course, expects us to come on. Well, some auto-closed doors on that elevator. And she's standing there, looking out. The doors are coming together. And then Jeanette says, "Ooh!" And she's gone. And we're alone, and we don't know if we'll see Aunt Jeanette again or not. Of course, a moment or two later, we saw her again together at the bottom because we got on another elevator. That's another neat memory that I have of Aunt Jeanette and her hospitality. She was hospitable to me again when I was in the Navy, one of the last times I visited in their home. I have lots of good memories of those kinds of times. I'm sure we all have those kinds. And with that, I'd like to thank them for what they, Uncle John and Aunt Jeanette, have meant to me as one of their nephews, and I'm sure a lot of us share those same kinds of things. Thank you.
Just so some of you can get the picture here. That was easy. Ivan is a son to my Uncle Ari and Aunt Ann in Düsseldorf, who's my mother's oldest brother. Right here at the end, okay? And Uncle Mary would you mind standing, because they have some of their sons here today too, and that's special. We don't get together too often. So Junior and Vernon, would you please stand with your parents? And Junior flew in this morning, would you believe, in a small plane, and he has two boys here. Boys, you want to come here? I want to get your connection, so at least you know who these people are. Well, the young ones aren't fashionable anyway. Okay, that's the Marion Hickelsthorpe family. Okay, thank you, boys. Okay, now, the next family that I'd like to introduce to you is the sons of George and Hattie Guy. Hattie was my mother's sister. And George, Clarence is the oldest boy, so he gets the job today of telling some story. But it's my understanding that they've been reminiscing all last evening and this morning. See, we've got two of them from South Dakota and two of them from Michigan, so they're using this occasion as a reunion within a reunion. So I don't know if they have it figured out, but I would like all four of you boys to stand, if you would. We have Clarence, and then Sher, then Harley's the third one, and then Ira. They're the quads there. Thank you, boys. And Clarence is all yours.
Custody. Well, where do we start? From the beginning, would that be good? This isn't first-hand experience, but here's some hearsay. Seems like some 50 years ago, people would quite often get married in the church after service on Sunday. And Uncle John thought, well, that's probably a pretty good deal, you know. I wouldn't have to make a special trip in to get married that way. So. One Sunday he asked the preacher, would it be possible that we get married next Sunday? Sure, the preacher agreed to that. Well, the next Sunday rolled around. Seemed like the preacher had forgot who had asked him, but he remembered somebody asked him that they wanted to be married. So right after the service, the preacher said, those desiring to be married would please come forward. Well, Uncle John went forward, and by the time he got there was also 6 women waiting there. So he had his choice. He made a good one. Well, what other dogs should we bring up? Dogs, that reminds me. That remind anybody else? Dogs? You? Uncle John, you remember anything about dogs on the farm? Muskie? Muskie bring back any memories? Well, when we were youngsters, it was always, we always looked forward to going to Uncle John's. There was, like myself and the 3 brothers, and then there was the 3 Freeman boys, and we'd get over there to visit and have a good time. We'd always go behind the barn and do things we wasn't supposed to be doing. Well, we'd do this fairly often, get over there and visit. This was out back in South Dakota, of course. Sad to say, I grew up out there too. Uncle John, he once got a dog on the farm. And it was a young pup, and we came over to visit, and I happened to have one brother, he he happens to like to be a pest and a dog abuser. Well, that dog got to hate that Dyke family. Uncle John would say as the Dykes are coming over, that dog was growling already as we were miles away, you know.
Smell you.
Pardon?
He could smell you.
Well, whatever. Anyhow, the dog would start putting up an awful fuss. And Uncle John would have to lock him up. Uncle John, he thinks, well, I got him locked up, you know, they come on the farm safely, because that dog would get vicious. I mean, it was more wolf than dog when we come there. And I remember the time we drove on the farm, and Uncle John's farm there, and dog was locked in the barn. Uncle John says, come on in, you know, come on out of the car. But evidently that shed wasn't secure enough for that dog. He made a new door coming out of that shed. And his brother Sherm there stepped out of the car. That dog happened to be right there, and those teeth just showing. And Sherm, he made one giant leap, and I think he was on top of a corn pile. But I had a pity poor Sherm too. He had a severe laundry problem. And not only that, he also had to endure the wrath of his mother and his aunt. Well, thank you.
I think maybe we should sing Those Were the Days.
Those were the days.
Thank you, boys. And how special to have you here today. Now, the Bremen and Van Disseldorf families, they were fortunate. They had cousins all over the place. Well, there's another side. Cousins that go way back. John had a sister named Henrietta. Married big time ago. Now, a lot of you local folks know the Zion girl. What's called that, I guess. Lack of better thing. Well, I had asked the family if they would like to say something, and I was told that Harold was all prepared because he was the oldest, so well, he was going to do it. Wasn't that right, Harold? Well, today, Harold came in and he said, well, boy, I don't know if I remember anything or not, but Harold, I have something that I remember, and I've got a question for you. Okay? Going through all these pictures was a real treat for me. And my parents don't have all the fancy photographer pictures that they have today. They said they just had a little snappy job, and they were fortunate that they were able to take one. But they had some attendance. And usually at get-togethers like this, the attendance has to stand. So I would like to have Harold and Lucille and Melvina, would you please stand? Lucille and Melvina standing. They were at my parents' wedding, and they are the only people besides your parents who are gone that were at that wedding, and that's real special. But Harold, the question I have for you is this outfit that you had on. You see how that is? You see those pants? You see them? Well, would you show me how you dress like that? You'll have to take knickers. Those were the days, indeed. Lucille and Bert or whatever. I think they have some memory from your family, do we not? Okay.
You remember it well. You get up here. I am totally you remember when we used to go away or something, when the folks and we would go away someplace to town or visiting or something at night. And if Uncle John and Jeanette would happen to drop in and we weren't home, we would come home and we would find everything that you could possibly think of that we didn't know was around anymore. I mean, like forks and shovels and pails and anything they could find around the sheds. Everything would be in front of our door. Even there, one night we come home and there was a manure spreader pushed up against the door. My dad was very, particular about his place. And he thought he kept everything so neat, but he never knew where they found all of that junk. So when we go back to their house, we do the same thing, but we never heard about it. So I don't know. They must have never knew it was us. They always a lot of fun, but we didn't know who was at our house when we came home. So there's lots of other memories, but that was one that I wanted to share with you. So wishing you many, many more years of God bless you.
My brother Lorne used to be a little boy too. And one day, he was helping Dad dig post hole fence. Post holes, what do you call those things? Fence post holes. And all of a sudden, my dad looked around, he said he heard something, something like that, and sure enough, Lorne had fallen in one of those holes. But you think my dad would help him out? He said, "You just stay there, kid, I'm going to go get the camera." And I know that they have pictures around someplace, but of all the looking, I couldn't find it for today, so I just had to tell you about it. It's in Lauren's book. Okay, we have our books over there, and in Lauren's book, if you'll look in there, you'll see a picture that, well, he looks kind of squashed down, and here it is, this poor little kid is hanging in a hole.
Well, just to tell you, just start off here a little bit, how kind of guy my dad is. He would be sitting at the supper table, and he'd always make us clean our plates up. And if we didn't put anything on our plate, well, he'd put something on for us. And if we didn't eat it, he'd kick us to bed without eating. Well, that was all right, because we got to used to it. The good old Ma, she'd always come up and sneak up the sandwiches after. Okay, I gotta tell you now, us Freemans were really quite a bullheaded. Andrea will say it about Sylvan, and Joni will say it about Bill, and my wife, she'll say it too, that I'm so much like my dad always. But we all had a real good teacher, and I gotta tell you a little story about that. First off, anytime they go anywhere in a car, they always kind of figure out how, they always want to see how fast they get from point A to point B. If you ever notice when they come to your house, one of the first things they'll say is, well, it took 2 hours and 20 minutes to get here. Something on that order. So anyway, in back, get my notes here together. Yeah, once, this was years ago, and we were riding in the car, and we was going somewhere. I don't even remember where it was going, but I was sitting in the center of the back seat, and Sylvan, he's here sitting on my right, and Bill on the left, and Dad driving the car, and Ma sitting there. And all of a sudden, I start kind of squirming around a little bit. I gotta go to the bathroom. Well, Mom says, Dad, you stop now. Dad's gotta go, or Barney's gotta go potty. Dad says, nope. He should have went before he left home. So in the meantime, I'm building up terrible pressure there. Crossing my legs and everything. Just getting into some real good pain there, you know. And Mom sees up in the front seat saying, now John, now you stop this car now. John, stop. Dad's there. Nope. So I went before he left home. Well, I couldn't stand too much longer. And so finally out comes this coffee can. And boy, I hit that thing and filled it right up. Then the sound of that was me going in that can. I just did old weak kid myself in the end, right, sitting there. And he starts crossing his legs and everything else there, you know. Oh, but now what? Barney just done filled the pot. I mean, you get the picture here now. I'm sitting in the center. Ma's got holding the coffee can up front. Someone's squirming all around me on my right. Bill on my left holding his nose. And Dad up there. Oh, I ain't dropped. Well, finally, Mom at least talked Dad into slowing down a little. So now we have Mom trying to push that door up against the breeze and emptying those contents of that can. Well, have you ever spit out of a moving vehicle? You know where it ends up at. This was no exception. Well, anyway, once someone got a hold of that can, it didn't take him long to fill it up. Because after all that, it was something. So anyway, at the end of the story, I'm still sitting in the center, and Bill, he's still holding his nose. Someone's next to me, all relieved. And Mom, she's up front, holding the can and saying, John, I can't believe how bullheaded you are. I don't know, you want to hear more? Or you... Oh, I don't know. What about when we, yeah. I think Bill and Sylvan have run into this too. But with, when it was home and single, you know, we'd come home at night. And Mom, she's always a real light sleeper. But anyway, I remember I'd come in the driveway and I'd even shut that car off, coast in the driveway in the yard, just trying to put one hear me. Go up the screen door, you know, real soft, you know. Pussyfoot through the dining room. No board, just squeak, you know. Boy, I get it, you know. When I finally make it to the bottom of the stairs and I get a little sigh of relief and say, boy, I think I got it made. Well, right then, bang, all of a sudden, about a foot in front of your nose is a flashlight. Where you been? Let me smell your breath. couldn't get away from nothing with Mom, I tell you. I think that's enough.
Well, I tell you, folks, as my brother was saying, sometimes Mom and Dad would have a different point of view on a given subject. I guess that's typical. I think it is in my marriage. I think it's probably supposed to be that way. Some call that opposites attract. Some say different personalities complement each other. Well, whatever. Well, I have a little incident that kind of portrays that. I was just a little girl. And of course, when you're about 6 years old, you just kind of lay around the house on a hot summer day, you know, nothing too much is happening. Well, the only thing I remember about that day, the first thing, is my mother. And folks, you'll never guess what my mother was doing. Can you guess? She was cleaning house. She was running around. Look at the cobweb up there. I gotta get this thing out. Oh, this house is just such a mess. You know how it goes. Oh, well, you know, here I am, little kid. Not too much. Pretty soon Lauren comes in the house. Hey, Mom, the sky is getting kind of dark out there. I think maybe it's going to storm. Storm, you say? Storm! Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, look out the window. Why, sure enough. Oh, it's quiet out there. When it gets quiet, then there's a foot storm coming. Yeah, well, look here a minute. Lauren, you better go. You run out to the barn, and you go tell your dad to get in this house right now. So, Lauren goes trotting over to the barn. Hey, Dan, Ma says there's a storm coming, and you better come right now. Well. Here's John. Squirt the cat. He's busy. He's just busy at it. Well, and there's Lauren. Dad! Huh? What'd you say? Dad! Ma says there's a storm coming, and you gotta get in the house right away. Oh! Dad? Really? Ma says right away. I'll be there! Meanwhile, poor Lauren goes trotting over back to the house. Oh, Mom! Dad says he'll be here right away. Well, then where is that man? By the time he gets here, we could just, oh, the kingdom come, here we come. Oh, well, you go right back to that park and you tell that man that he better get here right now. So Lauren goes back running over to the barn. Hey, Dad! Mom says you gotta come right now. Okay. So Dad gets up off of his chair, goes outside, looks around. You know, he says, I think he'll go to the north. Well, folks, you call that opposites attracting, complementary personalities. Call it what you will. There's one thing that you cannot deny. The Lord put them together. And what the Lord puts together, you cannot tear apart. And on their road together, they had a lot of experiences. There's been good ones, there's been bad ones. And yet, after 50 years, they can look back and they can say, the Lord had their designs on them. And through each one of those experiences, He was the mastermind in control. He had something that He wanted to work out. Unbeknownst to them probably at the time, or to any of us as we travel along life's road. But to those that are in Christ, each one of those experiences have a very special purposes that are geared for one thing, for His glory. He's also used many different people in their lives. As many of you know. People that they could laugh with, cry with. And all those people, He handpicked them. He handpicked who their parents were, where their heritage was going to come from. He handpicked the design of the way they would be. He handpicked who their children would be, who their brothers and sisters would be, their nephews and nieces. He handpicked who each one of you friends here today, how your paths would cross someplace along in the 50 years' time. He handpicked which one of you would be the friend that would cry with them when that was needed, or the one who would share a lot of laughs and a lot of joy, the one that could lift them up when that was needed. That was all beyond us. We just went on our daily events, sometimes not even aware of it and not even thinking about it. And yet, after 50 years, we're grateful for each one of those. And many of those friends and those dear ones are gone. Many of the parents are gone. We've got sisters and brothers that are gone, and we remember them very, very fondly today. Many of the folks as friends cannot be with us today. And as much as what we have laughed, there's always this part of us where there is this ache and this void, because we do remember them too, and the joy and the goodness that they brought us. But we can rejoice that their celebration is much greater than ours. And yet, He has provided new family and friends. He's the one that's given the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, new friends. Isn't our Lord good? Amen. You here today are very special because you have come. We're rejoicing together as family and friends. And thank you that we can laugh together and we can cry. It's very, very special. We have so many memories, Mom and Dad. You know, we could go on forever. The time doesn't permit that. But we do have something that perhaps in your leisure time at home you can enjoy, that many have contributed to, and we would like to present that to you at this time. This is a book of golden memories. It has in it their heritage and the many notes that so many of you sent. And I thank each one of you. And I hope that you'll enjoy this. As I said, it's hard to remember all the good times. And it's hard to say thanks. A real true thanks to the giver of all those good times that we have. We can only try in our humble way to give a special place to the one who so graciously grants all the blessings that we have. I would like you to join with me, if you would, as we sing my tribute. It's hard to sing the first part of it. I'd like you to try to sing with me, if you could. We'll try to muddle our way. But let's let it resound on the chorus if we could. For to God be the glory. Only He could grant it. And then let's also renew our commitment to go forward, to live our life in praise to Him. To turn to Psalm 103, and then again, paying attention, particular attention to the words of the second verse.
Dear God and Heavenly Father, we come to you today with thankful hearts. We thank you that you have given John and Jeanette 50 years of marriage together. And we thank you that we could get together here today to tell a few stories and have fun and just help them celebrate. And God, we thank you too that over the years as parents they have loved you, and that just by setting an example they showed us to Jesus Christ. And God, now we ask that you'll be with each one of us as we leave here later to go home. Just keep us safe and protect us from all harm and danger. God, we ask forgiveness of all of our many sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
time celebrating. Help yourself to the food, the pictures. There's a poster picture on the back. Note our heritage. We'd like to make sure that you sign the guest book. And above all, rejoice in the Lord forever. Enjoy.
Here, come on, wait a minute.
On the count of 3. 1, 2. Good. Bernadette. Corey.
Noah's fault.
All right, look at mom.
Yours burns. Not Dyke.
Shop around.
Get a better picture if we don't talk.
Close up the picture. Picks up every sound there.
We got noise on the porch.
Yeah.
See, getting old.
Where's the age on it?
Oh, geez, when you're getting towards 40, you don't tell ages no more.
You're only 51.
Getting warmer in the house, I guess.
Yeah. Ain't never had tutti
We're having a
frutti.
complete walk out ours.
We might be tutti frutti, but we have never had tutti frutti.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. Ooh. Ah, man, smell that coconut. Ah, man, won't that make the house smell nice? Thank you. That's cute. Huh.
Okay. We found a funny one. Oh, kitty cat.
Boy, must be all coconut shavings and
Jasmine.
Hey, 6 o'clock. I'm
Been
ready.
a couple hours.
I'm
You
ready to
quit-
go.
Quit for the day.
Hell, I don't. I go all day.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta quit early too.
little guy
Don't
with
do
the
that.
bunny.
Oh, you will in summertime.
Funny
It gets warm.
cow.
If I sleep at 6:30, I'm sleeping.
I need that all the time. It's like,
I'm awake at 6.
put in the race now. I can just wear that.
Sometimes I'm awake at 5. Yeah. A couple of times where I went to bed at 10:30 because I was a little tired. Man, at 5 o'clock I'm all wide
It's
awake.
dark out, I can sleep in.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amanda. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Let's see that pretty.
Shields? Yeah. Yeah, I see that. You're seeing it. You're like I did. You probably didn't.
Ooh, some perfume. Oh,
Yeah,
forever.
by the guys, I never did.
I think I had some Forever Krista once, but I got teenage girls that like to take off with it.
Hey, heck no. Grandma, you sell
I don't
any
use
music
perfume.
boxes at the grandma?
Yeah.
No, it was cool. Because I had like, you said my hand in one.
You want to
I
bring
got
me
sweater.
perfume?
Yeah.
It's warm out
Yeah.
that sweater.
I
either.
think so. Those would be nice.
I'll bet it is warm.
Look at children.
Sweater same. It's not rolled.
Twist their little strings hanging from it.
That probably fly easier than that one you were trying to fly yesterday.
Today, I mean, what is that for?
Or today, yeah.
They make
Out
these
there,
kites.
they had enough tail on that dumb thing to hold it down at an 80-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, there wasn't
Looks
enough.
like an elephant.
They were out there trying to fly a kite. They had a tail on there 30 foot long, and there must be about a dozen stringers on it.
Yeah.
Man, that sucker must have weighed 10
Is
pounds
that the
by
way it
itself.
Come with that long tail though.
Yeah, but it sure don't eat it when you ain't got much
It's
wind.
gotta be for.
And then they kept calling
That's made for heavy wind.
The wind is made to push
Yeah.
through.
I don't know, though, you fit 80.
Oh yeah? Take a pretty strong wind.
I think they
Maybe they'll fit Chris. Yeah. But Amy, you're
It's
pushing
like a
bigger
junk hat.
than that.
Graduation hat for clowns.
Sarah, Joni's got a graduation this year.
Sarah working out?
You're going to your graduation whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And when
Maybe
you're in
the
the
last
12th
time
grade,
you
you're
go.
going to your graduation.
Ross, get your Remy rush.
Yeah, it really is thin, won't it?
Is that to put on your...
Why, can't you wear something you already have?
Yeah. You don't have to go out and buy something brand new.
Wear
because
blue
you're
jeans.
graduating.
Hey, Mom. I think we're not in the
Let
garage.
me see.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. They fit you fine, don't they? Yeah?
Give
Yours
it off.
look a little small.
How old are you?
37.
37.
Not till
What are they taxing more to make up for that difference?
To start with, I believe it's 5 cents on the dollar. The tax down there. And, yeah.
Come on, Joni.
Come on over here by me.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Ooh, somebody's whistling. Hi. It's gonna get off out. What happened to Glenn in here, too? He sat there in the car. All by himself. Grandpa, Grandma wants you over here, too.
Got all kinds of pictures.
So? Me, too. Here he is. Hello. I won't. God, please. Say hello, everyone.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Here comes the car. Grandma, car for me.
Movies one time and forgot to pick the cap off her lap.
Hello, when you're ready.
Hello there, old buddy. Hey.
Get her out here.
Have you got it on?
If I push the button and hear some noise, so it must be.